Perhaps this belongs to a merchant. The bucket has seen better days. The bucket is rusty and full of holes.
I assume we're never going to pick that up, even though I can think of some uses for it. I don't know what right now, but I'm sure it's useful for something. Straining very large objects? I don't know. Hey, birdie.
Hey, boy!
I mean, I have to follow the dog now. Where did he go? Oh, hello.
Hello, dear.
Good day.
Sydney, must you be so unruly? Run along home now, won't you?
He was using the same shade of pink as the knot dream that we had.
He's a little more handsome than your average Bewlay resident.
He does seem out of place. Is this the Lord?
He's a little more handsome. I believe we've met.
Miss Thomasina Bateman, the famous antiquarian.
My reputation precedes me.
I can assure you it does.
And you are?
James.
James.
Are you a painter?
You see this beck before you? Look at the water. See how it tumbles and falls. I seek one spot on which my eyes can rest. Be it a stone or a small corner of the current, I meet it with my gaze, and out of the tumbling and falling, a new land rises. I see a new world.
You certainly have the eloquence of an artist.
Snore. Artists are the worst, am I right?
What are you painting?
A new world.
Quite the ambition.
Indeed, my ambition knows no bounds.
Can I see it?
Not yet. It's not finished. Such a world is not complete without you in it.
You've flattered me, James.
Nonsense. Say you'll let me paint you.
I haven't even seen your work.
I haven't even seen your work. What if you can't paint?
Don't fret, my dear. You shall be the shining star of my new world. When the time comes, I shall call on thee.
Well, how uncomfortable.
What do you know of Lord Panswick?
A fine gentleman. Now that is someone who commands respect.
Do you know him personally?
No, I don't think anyone can really claim that. But what a tiring subject. Shall we discuss something a little more exciting?
Like what? Let's talk about Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know Leonard Shoulder?
A man of Bewlay?
Yes.
I care not for the men of Bewlay. Only for the visitors.
What do you make of this stone?
It looks antique. You might want to keep a hold of it.
Do you know of Hob's Barrow?
I'd like to know more about you, Thomasina. At what time do you like to rise in the morning? How do you like your tea? What makes you happy?
Barf.
Late, with 3 spoons of sugar and spending time with my husband.
You disappoint me. I sense no truth in your words. Are you a woman of dubious principles, Thomasina?
You ask too many questions. Was that your dog?
Yes, his name is Sydney. Quite the excitable pup. Don't mind his bark. The little fellow wouldn't hurt a fly.
Goodbye.
See you soon, my dear.
I really hope we will not. What a sleazeball.
Sweet little flowers.
Gimme. Gimme, 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 gimme.
The delicate flowers smell rather sweet. The water is icy cold.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. That was terrible. I did like Sydney, though. Sydney's cool. Was there anything else in here? Oh, it's that squirrel again. What the hell? I'll have to catch it at some point, I think. A fox. Oh, this area is just full of wildlife. As it should be. This is quite natural.
There's nothing else I wish to discuss at the moment.
All right. Ominous music.
Hello?
A barefoot blonde girl. A wild child. Where did she go?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Did you see a young girl with blonde hair pass by here?
No, lass. There you are. Are you Thomasina Bateman?
That's my name.
How marvellous! It's me, Leonard Shoulder.
Heavens! I'd given up on finding you.
Please take a seat, Miss Bateman. We have much to discuss.
Why didn't you come at the inn?
You've proven to be quite the enigma, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm mortified. I offer you 1,000 apologies. You see, I've been bound to me bed these past few days with a terrible fever.
How dreadful. I take it you're feeling better now?
Aye. I were on me way to find you when I stopped here to catch me breath. I've not much go in me these days.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I were worried you'd have given up on me and left town.
I had no idea what had become of you, Mr. Shoulder. I spent a good amount of time pounding on your front door.
I'm embarrassed. I really am. I've been doing my best to sleep through the fever. I am so very sorry. Please accept my apology, Miss Bateman.
Fine, Mr. Shoulder. I've come all this way. Let us speak of the business at hand.
Marvellous.
I've just learned that my father was part of a previous excavation of Hob's Barrow some 25 years ago. Why didn't you mention this in your letter?
What? Where did you hear that?
I have my means.
I swear, Miss Bateman, I had no idea.
I take it you will also deny delivering me my father's journal?
I'm confused. What journal?
My father's journal was slipped under my door at the Plough and Furrow. It wasn't you who did this?
I've been bound to me bed, lass. What an extraordinary coincidence. You are following in your father's footsteps.
It would seem so, Mr. Shoulder. Why did you invite me to excavate Hob's Barrow?
I've always been curious about the colourful folklore surrounding the place. My father told me all sorts of stories about it when I were a wee fellow. Stories that some folk around here take a little too seriously. Especially after those lads entered the Barrow a while back.
Those lads being my father and his crew.
How did you know about me?
I saw your interview in the Bewlay Times. A young lady travelling about the land, digging up barrows. Perfect for the job.
But why do you wish to excavate the Barrow?
I want to see what those lads found in there. My curiosity has grown over the years. Now it is time for the mystery to be solved.
I must say I am rather eager to find out what's in there myself. I've managed to find Hob's Barrow, but Mr. Bryden is yet to give me permission to excavate.
Is that so? Keep trying. You'll relent eventually.
Perhaps you could have a word with him.
Oh no. A lovely young lass such as yourself has a better chance of changing his mind than a shaky old goat like me.
You told me in your letter there would be no issue gaining access to the Barrow.
I didn't foresee any when I wrote to you. I'm sorry this has been more complicated than anticipated. Don't give up yet, Miss Bateman. Keep trying with Mr. Bryden.
It would be nice if you came with me to help.
Did you know my father?
I don't believe so. What's his name?
William Bateman. He was in Bewlay for at least a few days, from my understanding.
I'm sorry, lass. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Are you sure you had no idea of my father's involvement in the previous excavation?
I'm quite sure. A most fascinating coincidence, but nothing more than that.
I'm starting to wonder if it's more than mere coincidence, Mr. Shoulder.
Miss Bateman, I did not take you for a credulous individual.
I'm none of the sort.
I'm starting to think that I'm not really trusting Mr. Shoulder to give me 100% of the story.
What can you tell me about the previous excavation of Hob's Barrow?
Oh, it were 25 years ago, or thereabout. Back then, Bewlay were undergoing a period of great strife. Samuel Bryden hadn't harvested a single crop for 2 seasons. Even Hernwood was sick. Berries went to rot almost as quickly as they grew. Folks started to believe the ground were blighted. Disease spread through the livestock too. People were going hungry, a panic set in.
That sounds terrible.
Aye, but I managed to keep myself fed. These things happen in nature, but the blame for it all fell on Hob's Barrow. It were long said that a goblin made his home there. A rumour took root that the goblin were not best pleased with the villagers. In revenge for some unperceived slight, the goblin placed a curse on the soil itself. The villagers believed that ridding the barrow of its lodger would put an end to it all.
Hogwash. My father would have paid no heed to such tales.
Whether it were his intent to join the excavation when coming here, I do not know. But whatever it were that Samuel Bryden and those lads did inside that barrow, people say it did the trick. The crops started to grow back, and health returned to the livestock. Bewlay were no longer in the grip of dark forces. You must understand. Folk here are a superstitious lot. They don't want you disturbing whatever it were those lads did. As far as the villagers are concerned, the problem were fixed. The thought of another excavation must be conjuring panic that you'll undo whatever it were they did.
This does explain a lot.
And it's also why I'd venture nobody around here wants you to touch the place.
Except for you.
I want to know what's there.
Surely you don't believe these tales of goblins and curses to be true?
Not at all. However, I suspect those lads did find something in the barrow. But did it have any connection to failing crops and dying livestock? No. I can assure you there's nothing to fear. Coincidence reigns supreme.
So what do you think they found?
That is for us to discover, Miss Bateman.
Who was the third man who joined my father and Mr. Bryden on the excavation?
I'm afraid I don't know. Although I'd heard about the excavation and I were intrigued by it, I mostly stayed at home during that time. The atmosphere in the village was rather too tense for me liking. And besides, the excavation were undertaken with an air of mystery about it.
Maybe he was the third man that joined the excavation. I don't know. I don't trust him.
Tell me more of this folklore you mention.
It is said that Hob's Barrow is home to a goblin. Everyone in Bewlay has some version or another of this story. But the version my father told me as a child described the barrow as a thin place. The goblin were deemed to be the guardian of this so-called thin place.
Here's a drinking game idea. Every time I say I don't trust him, take a shot. It's just about for everyone in this damn village.
Tell me more about this goblin.
Some said he were a mischievous little mite, snatching newborn lambs and smashing windows with pebbles. Others said he were friendly, there to lend a helping hand in times of strife. The latter of which makes it all the more surprising as to why the previous excavation took place. My father's stories put the goblin in the mischievous category. Saxnot, he called the creature. I recall one such anecdote, that Saxnot entered Bewlay and ordered a pair of boots to be made by the cobbler. However, When collecting them, he insisted on paying for them with a bag of sow's teeth. The cobbler was so scared of angering the goblin that he accepted.
A colourful tale indeed, Mr. Shoulder. Has any explanation been offered for why this sack's not cursed the soil?
Your guess is as good as mine, lass.
What is a thin place?
A place where one can walk between worlds. Where the flesh meets the spirit world. Just superstition, of course, as you well know.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those scenarios where we're already dead and we're just experiencing this thin place before we move on.
I had a peculiar dream last night. I met a creature at Hob's Barrow. I suppose you might say it was a goblin. It told me it had saved my father from trouble inside Hob's Barrow. I'll admit the coincidence of this is somewhat astounding.
A remarkable coincidence, but nothing more than that.
But there is still one thing that puzzles me. The goblin told me proof of its claims would await me in the morning. Surely enough, I awoke to find that my father's journal had appeared in my room.
Very queer indeed.
Mr. Shoulder, you invited me here, to a town I'd never heard of, only for me to discover that my own father was here 25 years before. And not only that, but that he was also embroiled in some sort of superstitious hysteria which goes against everything he ever taught me. Something is wrong here. This must be more than mere coincidence.
It's strange, I'll give you that. But please remember who you are, Miss Bateman.
A remarkable coincidence, nothing more.
This is my father's journal.
Incredible. Can I look inside?
You may.
Look at these drawings. Wonder what it all means.
You and I both. It all feels very out of character for my father.
I'm sure you'll find the answers beneath the soil, Miss Bateman.
What do you make of this strange stone?
A carving of a cockerel?
Yes, it was strapped to my father's journal. Do you think it could have something to do with the previous excavation?
Possibly, though I'm not aware of the motif having any meaning around these parts.
Is this your glove?
I've been looking all over for that. Where did you find it?
In the alley behind the plough and furrow on the night of my arrival. Were you there?
As I say, I've been bedbound for several days, Miss Bateman.
How odd.
Can I please have it back?
Here.
Thank you.
Bedbound, huh? Sure. We saw you.
We're peas of the same pod, Miss Bateman.
Dead.
I knew you wouldn't be frightened by a few old stories. It will be interesting to see what those lads found in there.
Certainly.
Thank you so very much for responding to my letter and for coming here. We have some great discoveries to make, you and I.
I sincerely hope so.
And a chance to follow in your father's footsteps. Right, time for me to shift these old bones. I'm to take me a spot of the plough and furrow. I'll be there all night should you need me assistance.
Thank you, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm sorry again for giving you the runaround. I promise I am not beyond redemption. I won't let you down again. See you soon.
I do need your assistance. Get back here.
I was starting to wonder if Mr. Shoulder even existed.
That was a remarkable coincidence.
The day was starting to test me. The word coincidence felt insufficient to explain what was happening. It was after that first conversation with Leonard's Shoulder that I started entertaining thoughts of a truly irrational nature. What if my dream wasn't just a dream? What if it was all more than simple coincidence? What if that thing really could help my father? Good day, little one. Hello? What's this? A fiddle bow? There's no string. My name is Thomasina. What's yours? Don't be shy. I don't mean you any harm. What are you doing out here all alone on the moors? Do you live here? Would you like me to fix your bow so you can play your fiddle again? Yes? Hey! Most peculiar. Perhaps I can mend the bow for her. If memories of my childhood violin lessons serve me right, bowstring is made from animal hair coated in a waxy resin. The strings don't vibrate without it.
Well, I have the waxy resin. I don't think I have any animal hair. And it needs to be pretty long animal hair. Horse hair, if I'm correct. I'm not sure about that, but sounds about right.
What a peculiar name. I can't quite see the resemblance myself.
So, we need to find some horsies.
The Devil's Toe.
The Devil's Toe.
Margaret's Lookout, dedicated to Arthur's mother.
The bird. The bird with the red eyes again.
This is where I dug up Jane's ragdoll.
Hey, asshole.
Hello, Wally.
Go away! You gave the doll back to my sister.
I did.
It wasn't very nice of you to bury her favourite toy, Wally.
I gave it to the fair folk, and you stole it back from them.
You don't really believe in fairies, do you? You're old enough to know better.
They're real, and thanks to you, I'm cursed.
There's no such thing as curses either, Wally.
Go away!
I'll grow up, Wally. Now what's up? Last time, our father was in an accident and our mum was very worried and very pregnant.
Mummy,
Get away from the fire, Thomasina.
what are you burning?
Nothing. Just waste. Now go inside.
But it's not waste. It's Father's journal.
Abrax. Mummy, what is this?
Waste. Burn it.
Hey, old man. I've come back to insist that you grant me access for excavation, but first, I wish to see your goat.
This is not mine to take. The empty bucket smells of rancid milk.
Lovely. Hey, goatie. Good goat. Do we need some hair from the goat? Hair of the goat?
The bow is lacking string. Goat hair is much too coarse to be used for bowstring.
I thought so. Haven't seen a horse, though. Maybe later. Can I go into your house?
Mr. Bryden is right there.
Yeah, but he's gonna take a long time to turn around.
He's doing well to be maintaining all this land at his advanced stage.
Yeah, fair enough. He might turn quite quickly.
Good day, Mr. Bryden.
Miss,
I'll stop you there. I know what you're going to ask. No, I haven't changed my mind. There'll be no digging here, lass.
Mr. Bryden, allow me to explain. There has been an astonishing development this morning.
Yes?
My father was with your brother during the excavation.
Oh,
Yes, can you believe it? I had no idea he had been here.
the answer's still no, lass. I saw what happened to poor Samuel. I won't risk the same happening to anyone else.
But
That's enough now. You can feast your eyes on that hovel to your heart's content, but there'll be no digging.
So when do we dig?
No questions. I'm not interested.
But
Off with you.
But, what is it with old people? What if I just threaten him with a knife?
I'm not sure they would be interested.
I would be interested. Very interested. Don't think I can show him the journal. Yes.
Look, Mr. Bryden, my father's journal. It confirms he was with your brother during the excavation of Hob's Barrow.
Ha! Take that away from me. I'll be having none of that.
You will be having some of that, maybe all of that. Now stop fighting me.
What do you make of this stone, Mr. Bryden? It was strapped to my father's journal.
Wait a minute. Let me see that. By God. Wait here a moment. I need to get something from inside.
His shotgun.
I waited for what felt like an age. I now realize that Mr. Bryden must have been in a great debate with himself, wondering whether or not to share his own piece of the mystery with me. The goat stared at me, seemingly in pity, as I stood there in that rolling fog. Finally, Mr. Bryden emerged.
Now then, as far as I know, what I have here is the only thing that Samuel brought back from Barrow. Take a look.
Another stone.
Incredible! A pair!
That's been in my drawer ever since Samuel passed. I suppose it might be important, so I kept it safe. Fate is clearly playing a part in your arrival, lass.
Please, Mr. Bryden, allow me to excavate Hob's Barrow, a place that is no more than dirt and stone.
You're not gonna give up, are you, lass?
Nope.
I'm not.
Samuel managed to say one thing about those men that helped him. I think it's time I tell you.
Yes?
He stuttered out that one of those fellows could barely walk after they got out of there. Tongue-tied too, the man were.
My father.
You what?
My father. He had an accident around 25 years ago that left him bedbound and unable to talk.
Aye, could be him.
My mother told me it happened in a horse riding accident.
Samuel boarded up that barrow for a reason. Something unnatural occurred, I know it.
Mr. Bryden, we must rely on our rational faculties to explain any...
Promise me you'll be careful. Any sign of trouble, leave without hesitation and we board that accursed place up again. Understood?
Wait, you're giving me permission to excavate?
Aye. Against me better judgment. I don't have the energy to stop you, lass.
Thank you so much. I am grateful.
Don't make me regret my decision. Take Samuel's stone.
Are you sure?
Aye. Give it back to me when you're finished, though.
I promise. Thank you. I'll be sure to show you my discoveries, Mr. Bryden.
I'd rather you don't. Now then, I've got things to get on with.
I don't suppose you can spare any labour to help me with the dig?
Don't push your luck, lass. Market's on today. Plenty of able-bodied men about. Ta-ra now.
Ta-ra. Success.
And like that, I finally had permission to excavate Hob's Barrow. As exciting as that was, I was distracted by what Mr. Bryden said of his brother's associate. There was no doubt in my mind that father was the stricken man he spoke of. You told me he was crippled after coming off his horse. Why did you lie to me? To protect me? To stop me from following in his footsteps?
Task failed successfully.
You failed. And so did Charles Bryden. He should have said no. He should have never given me that stone.
Foreshadowing, I assume. Something horrible is gonna happen to you, Thomasina. Woohoo! Let's proceed to see what that horrible thing will be. What will happen to you? What do you think, Mr. Goat? Place your bets, everyone. What do you think will happen to Thomasina? So I'm thinking maybe we should revisit the market. Maybe there's more merchants now with horses. Yes, a lot more people. Pie seller. Ooh, I would love me some pie.
He's selling an assortment of greasy meat pies and Scotch eggs.
Lovely.
Can I interest you in a pie? Finest mutton in all the county. 2p each.
No, thank you.
You're missing out. Fresh Scotch eggs.
Nice. Mutton pies, give me that grease.
Miss Tompkins looks more anxious every time I see her.
I wonder why.
Hello, Miss Tompkins.
Hello.
We weren't introduced earlier. My name is Thomasina.
Ma'am?
How do you fare, Miss Tompkins?
I'm waiting for Mr. Ambrose. Have you seen him?
Who's that?
The milkman. Miss Fenchurch will be ever so cross if I've no milk for his lordship.
I'm afraid I haven't seen him.
Sounds like a tough day to be you. No newspaper, no milk. He's gonna be pretty upset with you.
You are in the employ of Lord Panswick.
Aye. He employs Arthur Bewlay in one way or another.
I'm in need of some help for my excavation. Do you think his lordship could lend me some of his labourers?
Maybe.
Might you introduce me to him?
Sorry, ma'am, but his lordship doesn't take visitors. Any road, I must wait here for Mr. Ambrose. Miss Fenchurch will be ever so cross if I've no milk for his lordship.
If Mr. Ambrose doesn't turn up, and I find you some milk, would you be able to introduce me to Lord Panswick?
His lordship really doesn't like visitors, ma'am.
I'll take the risk.
Miss Fenchurch will be cross with me. But she'll be even crosser if I come back without fresh milk.
So, do we have a deal?
Aye. Bring me some milk and I'll take you to his lordship.
Thank you.
But hopefully Mr. Ambrose will arrive soon.
Not if I can help it.
Have you been waiting long for Mr. Ambrose?
Aye. He should have been here a good 2 hours ago. He's here every market day, you see. He sells only the freshest milk. Miss Fenchurch swears by it. I hope misfortune hasn't befallen him on his way here.
I'm sure he will turn up.
Oh, I hope so.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to milk the goat to get some fresh milk.
Are you familiar with Hob's Barrow?
What's that?
Never mind. What do you make of these stones?
Oh, gives me the creeps.
Why?
Dunno, just a feeling.
Who is Miss Fenchurch?
His lordship's housekeeper.
I'll let you know if I find some fresh milk.
Thank you, ma'am. But tell me if you see Mr. Ambrose, won't you?
I will.
I won't.
Good day.
Hey up.
What do you make of these...
Don't look like out to me.
I met a girl at the Devil's Toe. She gave me this broken fiddle bow.
Ha! Well, you've experienced the local folklore firsthand then, lass.
Do you have any fresh milk going spare?
I'm a blacksmith, not a cattle farmer.
Quite. Does the name Saxnot mean anything to you?
Never heard of it. What is it?
Never mind. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Alright, who else do we have in here? The delicious pie salesman. I don't know why you don't want to buy a pie from him. Apple seller with fresh produce.
Sacks of apples and cabbages. They've all seen better days.
Okay, maybe not so fresh.
Good day.
Freshly picked apples, miss. Would you like to try one on the house, like?
Produce looks questionable. Well, I think it's gonna be fun to get sick a little bit.
Yes, please.
Here you are, miss.
The apple looks somewhat rotten. It's riddled with holes.
Mutton pies!
Sacks of apples and cabbages. They've all... Good day.
How did you like your apple?
I'm afraid it is rather rotten, sir.
Hey up. That's slander, that is. Don't you be going around telling folk I'm handing out rotten apples.
But they are. What are you selling? Got some produce, veggies, herbs, meat, and tins.
Tins of corned beef. Ghastly.
Ghastly.
A decent selection of cuts and sausages. Various chards and beets. She is selling various herbs, some familiar looking, some not. The box is full of various sprouts and onions, nothing particularly tempting. Good day.
Fresh produce.
What have you got for sale?
I'm selling meat, vegetables, and all sorts of herbs and things. You're welcome to have a gander.
I'll be sure to browse. Do you have any milk for sale?
Not today, sorry.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra, miss.
Yep, we're definitely gonna have to milk a goat pretty soon. Hello. Goodbye. Anything in the alley? Ah, horse! I knew it.
A fine specimen. She's well looked after.
Good horsey. Now, give me some hair.
No, that won't achieve anything useful.
Well, I guess not.
I don't wish to wake him up. No, that won't work.
Ah, I was certain that I could get some horsehair. Damn.
Horsehair would make fine bowstring.
Oh, there you go.
She almost took my head off.
It's not gonna be easy.
It's Herbert, the local stray. I don't wish to wake him up.
So how am I gonna get some horsehair?
The apple looks somewhat rotten. It's riddled with holes.
Maybe I can get... Ah, the apple. Although, it's probably gonna give the horse a bad stomach. There you go.
Hey girl, would you like an apple? She is completely indifferent. Perhaps the apple is too spoiled for her liking.
Yeah, she has standards. Alright, we'll circle back to you. Haven't been in this part of the village in a while.
A humble local dwelling.
A humble local dwelling. Anybody home?
Nobody home.
Nobody home.
The road disappears over the horizon. I see nothing but moorland.
Well, I do see an area of interest right there on the bottom right, but maybe when we go to Lord Hanswick's place, we'll go through here. Not right now. Oh, this looks like an apple tree, but it's not active. So where can we get better produce?
Joe, perhaps you've had enough sugar?
Don't you start an all.
But you've got the diabetes, most likely. Sugar cubes. The horse will love sugar cubes.
Hands off me sugar.
I think this is supposed to be for all the patrons, sir.
I said hands off.
Come on, Joe. Be nice to our visitors.
Ha! This place has gone to buggery.
Hey man, it's not all your sugar. That's enough sugar. You want some tea in your sugar?
I prefer my tea hot and fresh. I already took some. Hello?
Oh, aye, she's back again. Can't a man drink his tea in peace? There's nought for you here, lass.
Horrible man. How many more sugar cubes is he going to add to his tea? He'll have no teeth left by the end of the day. The enigmatic Mr. Leonard Shoulder. He looks somewhat frail.
I wonder how many cubes he's gonna continue putting. All of them. All of the sugar cubes. Must have crunchy tea.
Hello again, Mr. Shoulder.
Miss Bateman.
Mr. Shoulder.
Mr. Bryden has given me permission to excavate Hob's barrow.
Marvellous. I'm sorry you've had to sort all this out in my absence. When do we start?
Tomorrow, I hope. But first I need to recruit some locals to assist with the dig. It's too much work for me to do on my own.
I see. Bewlay has its fair share of strapping young lads. You'll find assistance, Miss Bateman.
What else can you tell me about this Sax knot?
Try not to worry yourself too much with these old stories. Leave those to the locals, Miss Bateman.
Have others spoken of goblins appearing in their dreams?
A dream is a dream, that is all. They merely make for good stories.
I know.
But to answer your question, no, not to my knowledge.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm sure the locals have filled you in already, lass.
You cut quite the mysterious figure. Most had little to say.
It's true, I do tend to keep my head down. When one gets to my age, one grows very comfortable in one's home. I like the isolation of the moors. I wouldn't change it for anything.
I take it you don't get many visitors.
Oh no, nobody bothers me. That's the perk of living so far out, huh? Just me and me hens. I used to come into Bewlay more often, back before my health went to bugger, eh?
What do you think of Bewlay?
Whilst one could consider the villages to be rather unenlightened, this place has its charm. The market's in town today. You can see that folk want fun out here.
I know where I can find a Scotch egg, that's for certain.
Do treat yourself to one. You'll not taste better.
Is there anything else I should know about Hob's Barrow, Mr. Shoulder?
No, lass. I'm certain we will know a lot more about it by this time tomorrow.
I hope so.
Yeah, if I can find some milk and get some laborers.
What else can you tell me about the previous excavation?
I think I covered it earlier, Miss Bateman. As you yourself said, it were a time of superstitious hysteria.
What was it like, living in that period of hysteria?
I kept to myself. It didn't really affect me. My hens stayed healthy and their eggs kept me well fed. If one can keep a level head in such situations, one can get by.
Indeed. Is there anything else I should be aware of before my own excavation? No other ghouls I should be worried about?
Ah, you know the answer to that. The corruption in that soil were all in the minds of men.
What do you make of Lord Panswick?
His lordship is an important man in Bewlay, as I'm sure you have gathered. His family has commanded much respect here for many generations.
Do you respect him as a leader?
I do. He wants the best for the village. Without his influence, the railway line would have never come through here.
Does he want more visitors?
Aye, I believe so. He has great ambitions for Bewlay and wants to share them with the world.
Except he doesn't want any visitors near him.
What do you make of Mildred Walker?
Who?
I believe she's also known as Mother Mildred.
Oh, we used to get about when we were children. Our paths have not crossed in a long while.
Maybe they should. Maybe it will spark old feelings.
What do you think of Charles Bryden?
He is a decent man. It must have been hard for him after that terrible business with his brother.
Without a doubt. I must say I had assumed you had at least spoken to him about my visit.
Sorry, lass, I had no intention of giving you the runaround. Again, I can only apologize.
Yes, you seem very good at it.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the nature of your ongoing illness?
Oh, just the ravages of age. Getting off this bench will be a small battle in itself. Something you won't need to worry about for many a year, Miss Bateman.
Growing old is a blessing and a curse. And what of your recent fever?
An ordeal it were. So much tossing and turning. But I'm right as rain now, especially after a mug of ale. Don't worry about me.
What are Lord Panswick's plans for Bewlay?
He's rebuilding an old chapel on his estate. He seeks to bring God back to these lands.
But what of St. Edmunds? I think Father Roach might argue God has never left.
Indeed. Let's leave such arguments to them, shall we?
Thank you for your time.
Aye, Miss Bateman. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.